Hey, what's up with you, man? I'm just trying to get settled into the new house, and we got still lots of touch-ups and unboxing and unpacking to do, and beds to build. So I've just been busy for the last couple of weeks, and then trying to take off some time for the holidays. So burning the candle at both ends for sure.
Wow, that's amazing, man. You stay moving, man. That's what I love about you. Your energy is always 1,000.
Yeah, I call it the gift and the curse. I'm always working, man. If I'm not working on physical projects, business, phone calls, emails, it just never stops, man. I gotta like force myself to meditate morning and night, or else I'll probably just explode or something or implode.
Junior, what's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, I like your ugly sweater that you had on, man.
Thanks.
It was a beautiful sweater. It wasn't ugly.
Man, that sweater was dope, man. That shit it lit the whole room. We saw you.
He lit the whole room, man. I was like, wow. I had to turn my brightness down. Corey,
What's
up,
up with
man?
everybody? Is everybody working all these days, or are people taking time off, or what for the holiday?
Working.
Man, we're
I'm out of
working,
town
but
right now. With the I'm out of town right now.
virtual
With the family,
assistants
but
got
just
hit
got
hard,
off another
though.
one yesterday. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, my virtual assistant, she got hit hard. We got like that typhoon there, so we kind of slowed down as far as outbound for the end of the year. So she got to do some damage control at her house. But other than that, I mean, we got plenty to dispose, so we're moving it. We got that going.
Awesome, Mike.
Yeah, one of the Hive VAs too got hit by that typhoon. So yeah, we just pray and send them a little Christmas bonus and hope everybody's okay. But yeah, so far I guess nobody got hurt, but plenty of damage and things they need to address. That's pretty bad, man.
Absolutely, man. Take care of those VAs, man. Paid time off, give them a nice little bonus. You know, if they help you, make sure you help them. Absolutely.
Yeah, we love them to death, man. They do so much, and sometimes they're even working on like their days off, and like, oh crap, like, so we just want to make sure they're taken care of. Like, what would we do if they disappeared? It'd be in a bad situation. Extended family. How does Max Maxwell say it? He says his VAs are not VAs. What does he call them?
I know what you're talking about, but I forgot, man.
Yeah, he has some kind of magic word that he uses for his VAs. He doesn't like to call them VAs. They're like kind of like family.
Man, they are. They're like partner. You know, you cut them in on what they do. You know, keep them motivated. I mean, like you said, I can't even imagine that. It's my first VA ever, and it makes me nervous even thinking about it. Like, what happens if she wanted to leave or something? It's almost like you gotta get that one in the back pocket that, you know, it's like training that's there at, you know, at some point. But you know, it's all about just trying to keep them happy because, like you said, man, that's like, that'll keep me up at night thinking about if she ever left now after, you know, relying on what she does. And, you know, they're great. Yeah, they're yeah, I feel bad, you know, just doing a VA or virtual assistant. They're pretty much partners in the whole thing.
Yeah. Super cool, man. Super blessed to have them. I think that's part of like duplication and automating yourself is bringing in that secondary help. I think the work ethic for the most part here in America is you know, so, but somewhere over there, you give them a job and they love you to death. So we're trying to make sure that we reciprocate and make sure they stay around for a long time. It's like, imagine they've already been with us for almost a year. So then having to go back in and retrain somebody and see if there's any loyalty there, it would just be a big mess, man. Who all in here does use virtual assistants? Does everybody have like a go-to, like a one spot, or do we kind of mix it up and just take recommendations?
Yeah. Mine on VAs are from Upwork. I got 2 of them.
How does that work? Is it just like a flat fee for whatever they do?
So yeah, we develop a contract, see what price range. I typically don't go no higher than about $6. So I try to then we get something, we sign a kind of like a DocuSign on the other side, and then I'll send them all the stuff like my Mojo Dollar, hive mind and stuff, and then we have them go from there. That's basically it. And then I pay them at the end of the week. Every Friday they get paid. So Upwork.
What kind of tasks are they doing?
tasks?
Yeah, what exactly do you have them working on?
I have one VA building up my buyers list. So I have them just strictly calling the buyers list. And then the other one calls for about 4 hours, potential leads and stuff. And then whoever say yes, I'll call them. That's basically how I got my operation going.
Yeah, I like that. I like somebody to be able to do the first touch. I think that's why I don't do a whole lot of training, even in the hive. Like people ask to do marketing training, and I feel like if you do too many different types of marketing training, I feel like people might get confused. So I'm just like, just get me on the phone with somebody, and then I'll do what I'm good at. I'll take over from there.
I'm more good on the acquisition side. Like I used to do the cold calling myself, but I got so burnt out, man, trying to, hey, you're interested in selling your property. No, click. And it's like you're going through like 50 no's just to get that one yes. So, as I was closing deals, I kind of developed, okay, now I hire up my cold caller, all the leads that come in, and I'm trying to replace myself. That's my ultimate goal, trying to train another upcoming VA to replace myself and just do the dispo.
I'll tell you about how the system I'm doing. I essentially I farmed out 99% of my real estate business. So I have 4 people. They'll take the inbound leads. I do a lot of pay-per-click, and then I have 4 team members that take those calls. So they'll do the first touch, do the acquisitions, then they'll get a percentage, and then whoever dispos it gets a percentage, and then I'll take the last percentages. It's pretty much like a 3-way split. But that's what I've been doing with 4 hive members, and I kind of don't even touch it at all. I'll get on the phone to negotiate to try to close big stuff, and then I'll get on the phone to negotiate with a buyer if we have a buyer that's trying to be tough. And that's how I've been doing mine. And I almost don't have to get on the phone, maybe a couple of times a week. It's been working pretty well. So we hope to expand that once I feel like we have a model that works perfect and everything makes sense and we can kind of quantify some of the numbers. Then we'll start to share it with everybody else and see if we can start to have that model working everywhere. It's been pretty good, man. It's been a really good run, to be able to be closing deals without having to participate in them. It's been a huge blessing, and then that frees me up to do other stuff. So
that is a blessing, man. Wow.
Yeah, still learning and growing, but it seems to be working really well so far. And the team members seem to be happy with what they're getting for the amount of work that they're doing. So like I said, so once we develop a model where we feel like it's running strong, then we'll try to start implementing, at least 1 or 2 teams per each major city. So still pioneering it, but yeah, it's very promising. It's looking really good right now.
You got it. You got it, Anthony.
We're running, man, but it doesn't work without people like you that are actively engaged and participating and helping. And like I said, because we're still designing this thing as we go, so with people like you that participate and bring feedback and all that stuff, we couldn't do it without you guys. So we appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you, man. It looks like it's 6:11. Did you want to go ahead and start it?
Yeah, I kind of didn't have any topics to cover today. Like I said, I've been kind of just bombarded with everything I have going on. So if anybody's on this call that wants to pick out a topic or something you want to chisel away at today, we'll just kind of leave it as an open room and just answer, do maybe a Q&A type thing, or if anybody wants to chat about, go into depth on one particular marketing strategy. I see we got Uncle Carl on here. Uncle Carl knows marketing like the back of his hand. So we got a couple of pros in the room. We'd be glad to just kind of chat about any subject that anybody wants to just raise your hand and ask a random question or something you want to talk about.
Any volunteers?
You got anything you want to cover, Nigeria? Hey.
No.
Hey, are you posting all those little videos you've been making on TikTok?
No, I'm not posting them on TikTok. I didn't even think about that.
Dude, you should, man. That's a lot of those videos are really cool and creative. I think they can go semi-viral. Somebody picks it up because they're almost a little funny, but pretty cool. I really like the vibe, man.
For sure. I'm gonna try to do it tonight.
Yeah, if you're already making them, I would just upload
Hey, can you
them.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, cool, cool. I'm driving to the beach and I kept trying to hit the button. I couldn't figure this out doing Zoom while I'm driving. I'm not real good on the tech stuff, but I guess I like to add like some of the stuff, share some of the stuff that's working for us is we look through all our data and 60% of our deals came from property tax delinquents. Okay. And then of those 60%, 70% were dead people. And we went after the heirs. And we were looking back at and then we also, because I just wing shit, you know. I don't, you know, but I'm getting some coaching going, you got to know your numbers. So I'm looking back into some of the data, and then we get about another 20% from like referrals, and another about 15-20% I call walking players is using our GIS system to identify double lots, triple lots, houses with land, and we also do variances. But by looking at the data, we realized we got to go after more property tax delinquents. That's where our biggest bang for a buck is coming into. And unless you're in Mecklenburg County, because I don't want any competition, I would just recommend that to everybody for the houses and the land. That's where we're seeing a lot of success. Now it's a lot of work. You know, when the people are dead, we have to pull the obituaries and, you know, deal with judgments and some other stuff. But the profits have been huge. We just picked up a deal the other day where we bought, there's 7 heirs. It's a pain in the ass, property tax delinquent, but it's a house and it has 2 lots. We can subdivide 2 lots off it. And we got it for $40,000 plus $20,000 with the judgments we got to sort through. And we could sell the house as is for 100, 110. And then we could also sell the 2 lots for 40 to 50,000. So that's another thing I would tell people is, you know, the tax delinquents, and look for the value adds, look for the properties that you can subdivide off or, you know, do things like that. That's where we get our big home runs is looking for that value add. Can you subdivide the lot and things like that?
And you said tax delinquent, right?
Yeah, property tax delinquent are #1 source.
Are you pulling from a data source, or are you pulling direct from the county?
We pull direct from the county, but each county in now, well, first let me start by saying there's tax lien states like South Carolina, and then there's tax foreclosure states. In North Carolina, we're a tax foreclosure state. I think Texas is too. And we just pull the data directly from the county. And then some counties we have to call and harass and get them to send us the list. And a lot of counties you can download the list, but then you have to sort through them. We like to make sure there's 3 years or more taxes due. And we like to see them not paying it consistently for 3 years or more, because that shows a problem. But these are the best deals for us that we're seeing the biggest bang going after these type deals.
Hey, do you work in any states that are like a redemption, where they have a redemption period like Texas does?
No, I want to get into Texas stuff because we get a lot of requests for that. But no, right now we're mainly North Carolina, and we'll do a few random ones here and there. But I want to learn the rules, the laws in North Carolina. I mean, in Texas, because I know if it's people that are doing that people say they're doing really well with that there. But so there's a redemption period in Texas. Is that
Yes.
how it works
So
there?
it's about 2 years, I believe, what the number is. I've never come across it or had to like anybody challenge it. But yeah, once they lose it, you can buy it, but you can't sell it for 2 years. The seller has the right to come back and repurchase it from you with it's a pretty high interest too. I want to say it's like 10 or 12% interest or something like that. So
I actually did
I think-
explain right. We go direct to owners. We don't ever
Mhm.
buy every blue moon we buy at the courthouse. We are skip tracing going direct to the owners. And that's so, I think if you get it direct to the owners, you don't have to worry about a redemption period because you're buying direct. And that's where that works really well, is skip tracing owners and then buying directly from them or their heirs.
Yeah, that would be the best way to do it, is if you go direct to the person that already owns it. Yeah, that way you buy it free and clear without having any kind of weird problem that comes back on you. And then I guess another trick that people do is they just go after stuff that's 2 years old, because then there is no redemption period on it. Like it's as good as gone now at that point.
Yeah, but it's direct to the sellers is the way to go, where we've had the success. And another thing I'll add is, a lot of these tax delinquents have other problems. They'll have judgments, and we learned a lot of really cool things about judgments, where you can buy the properties. Like we bought one that had about $100,000 IRS judgment, and it was a house. We ended up buying it for $70,000. We kept it for 4 years. Then the IRS judgment expired, and then we sold it. And that one, I think, is $147,000 profit. Now, appreciation helped us out a lot, but we buy properties with judgments, then we'll either wait them out, we'll buy the judgment, or discount the judgment. You find a lot more problem issues when you're dealing with the tax delinquents, but you have a lot more opportunities there to make money when you're dealing with judgments on properties, which is a cool as hell thing. We're learning more all the time, but we like properties. We bought several with IRS judgments that we just hold them till the IRS judgment expires.
Oh, that's pretty strong, man. So is that a list, or is this just, again, pulling from the county and then kind of sorting through it and see what you got in there?
It's going after property tax delinquents, but a lot of property tax delinquents have issues, the judgments, the IRS liens, things like that. So you run into that, you sort of back into it. Does that make sense? We don't target it, but we find it not fairly often, but from time to time. Does it make sense? Think about it. People that are property tax delinquent, there's a problem there. A lot of it's financial problem. It may be that somebody died, there's multiple heirs, things like that. So that's how we find the ones with judgments. But I would also tell people, don't run away from a property with judgments, because there's so many cool things that you can do depending on what position the judgments are in order. You can buy a judgment, you can wait for them to expire. You can negotiate it down, a discount. There's a lot of really cool things, and people will hand over all the problems. There's another one. I think, Anthony, I told you about this. It was a lot we bought for $15,000. It was a property tax delinquent. It had a $73,000 judgment and a $63,000 judgment. We bought the $73,000 judgment for $16,000, and then we made a discount with the one for 63. We got a discount it to 22, and then we sold the property and we made 143,000 on that one deal. And that was started all with a property tax delinquent. And then it turned out there was judgments, and then we said, look, you got this judgment, the taxes. How about we just give you 15,000? We take over all the problems. They're like, sure. I'm just tired of dealing with it. And then we went to town, buying the judgment, discounting the other one. So that's how you back into the properties with judgments.
Yeah, man, I love it. I think that's kind of why I don't go after. I usually don't go after any kind of targeted list. I like the inbound. I like pay-per-click, because they're calling me, and then whatever problem they have, I'm just like the doctor. Like, you just tell me what the symptoms are, and I'll give you my diagnosis and a solution, and then we'll just go from there. So, kind of the easiest way to do it. But I know a lot of people have a lot of luck pulling those tax delinquent lists, because obviously there's a major problem there if they've let it go for a year, 2 years, 3 years. There's a major problem, right? So, and then sometimes they don't even know they're entitled to the money. I've heard people say, "Oh, I thought we lost that property years ago already."
Yep.
Like, oh, it's still in your name, partner.
Yep. We want to do more. We like the outbound, but it's a lot of work. We want to get more inbound stuff is the goal, for 2022, is to change the model a little bit Um, you know, like you said, I love having people call in, and then, like you said, just solving their problems. I mean, how much money do you spend on your marketing to get the inbound calls coming in?
I'm doing low volume right now, man. So I couldn't even tell you how many contracts we're locking up right now or how many we have under contract. But I usually typically aim for about 2,000 to 2,500 a month, right in there. And for the longest time, it was only about 12 to 1,600 a month. But I want to say right now we got it up to like 2,000, 2,400. Like last month, it didn't even use up all my ad spend, right? Because we're only targeting the state of Texas. So my goal was to expand to like 8 or 10 states. That way we could bump up our ad spend, maybe to like about 3,000, something like that. But even if it's low volume, I mean, you'll get a bunch of base hits. What's that?
Is that pay per click? Is it pay per click? You're getting what? It's pay per click and texting, right?
No, it's just straight pay per click, man. So you just like literally set up a landing page like with Carrot or Hivemind, and then you just call Google, like 1-800 Google, like literally just Google it, Google AdWords number, and then you just tell them you want to build out a campaign for leads for for buying houses and for buying land, and they'll set up everything for you, and you just throw your ad spend on it, and you just forget about it, and then you'll just start getting leads, man. And then so instead of me having to do the first touch on the leads, is what I did for the first couple years. It was me, I'd be in the movie theater and I just walk right out like, hey, this is Anthony, you want to sell your land? And it worked really well. Easy 6 figures a year. But now, like I said, I'm trying to push to 4 people. So I need to get my volume up, my lead volume up. And it's not just necessarily about more ad spend. Now I got to cover more land. So I was looking at Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South California, Nevada. So, maybe if we can chat about that, see what kind of leads you're looking for. And then maybe we can start pushing some stuff with you if you can help us on the dispo side, that kind of stuff. Since you're
on anything in Mecklenburg County, the surrounding counties, we've got buyers for it. We really know the land in that area. You get further
What county is it?
Mecklenburg County, where Charlotte is. That's
okay, Charlotte.
That's what we specialize in. Mecklenburg, Gaston, Cabarrus, and Union are the best. Was that?
No,
those are the best counties for us.
Yeah, and that was the original plan, is to connect with people that are already working in a market and then just push leads there. So yeah, if we had somebody boots on the ground already that knows that area, that has buyers, then if we could just start sending you our stuff, and anybody on this call as well, if you have buyers in your area or you're pretty seasoned in your area, let us know where you are, and we'll try to start pushing some inbound leads to you and your team.
Does anybody have any questions?
Well, for me, so far, I've been cold calling. It's been quite a bit. So,
dude, can you tell us what you've been doing right now? I kind of wanted you to jump on a Zoom sooner or later and just kind of share with what you've been doing. But man, this guy, I met him at an event in Houston. As soon as I got off the stage, he just walks right up to me. Just had about 1,000 questions. I'm like, okay, cool. I help everybody out. I don't know who he is, but okay. And then randomly, he just keeps texting me and messaging me on Messenger. And then I said, hey, yeah, let's go after some tracks that are, 500 acres, 1,000 acres around Houston. And this guy has been working his ass off. I mean, he's just been sending me deals like probably every day, every other day. Can you just tell people how you're finding these leads and exactly what you're doing on a day-to-day? Like, what's your daily activities look like?
Oh yeah, for sure. So pretty much, so I'll start off with the daily activities, right? So I have a call at 10:40, 5:40. So I always prepare my calls around like 10 from 10 to 11. That's why I do my power hour calls. I keep going. I don't stop and deviate to go do something else. I want to finish what I'm doing right in that very moment. Because those calls are kind of quite intense in the morning, because sometimes I'm reaching sellers when they do pick up. And around like 2 to 4 p.m., that's when I really go all out and keep going, keep dialing until I get to that one person or a couple people. And when I'm doing this, right, like most of the leads that I got were mostly from ClearSkip or mostly from Landglide. That's what I'm using. And when I'm searching for certain tracks, like I'm mainly looking for those land tracts that are mostly nearby the road, because people want to actually go there and develop and be nearby the roads when they're driving down or wherever they're going. And I'm always dialing pretty fast, so when I see the number, I always take note of what I did, what the person said exactly, and what I said on the phone and what they said on the
Are
phone.
you using a dialer or are you just
No.
dialing by hand?
I just dial by hand.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
1,400 acres, man, the other day. And then how many acres for Joanne's property?
it was like 100 acres, and then I have another person is like, he's wanting to give him an offer on like, it's actually 230 acres, but he wants to do it for the two tracks, which is like 156. So he's looking for an offer on that. We'll see what he wants. I don't know if he wants to sell, but I don't care if he doesn't. But trying to give him an offer. So his land tract is like worth on the CAD, I think like, what do I do the comps? It's oh, here it is. It is 748,000 for just the CAD price, and then the real after repair value is 1.5, almost 1.6 million, and he's maybe asking for, I don't know, maybe 900, maybe a million, depending on what he wants. So we'll see about that. So
Do you
yeah,
have you closed any real estate deals before, like wholesale deals?
I have not.
Okay, guys. So this guy, okay, no wholesale transactions yet. And the small deals he's calling are $1 million. You know, and then some of the larger ones we're looking at now, 6 million. But that's so beautiful because that's really what it takes. It's like everything you've learned up to this point in real estate, no matter how many deals you've done, we have this like these internal biases, right? Where you say, hey, well, that deal's too big. I'm not going to go after it. The seller's asking too much. I'm not going to go after it. But here's a brand new person who doesn't, nobody's told him yet that you can't just go after those types of transactions. So now everything he's looking at is $1 million and up. He just followed directions, but the guy's, I mean, he's on it. He's working. I don't ever have to call him and check and say, hey, did you make your calls today? He's just crushing it every single day, skip tracing, getting people on the phone. He's answering. And then another thing too, I wanted to commend you on is if he says, hey, I'm going to call you at 3, he calls you at 2:59. Never misses, not once ever. Does he make an excuse and say, oh, I got busy, you know, I was with the kids or whatever. The dude's just working. He's just working and working and working. And how much do you think you've spent on marketing so far in the last month or 2 months that you've been working on this campaign?
I think 0. And then the good thing is like when I was like skip tracing most of these properties from Landglide, I just happened to get a call out of nowhere from an agent from ClearSkip, offering me to help me with some leads, like 500 to 1,000 leads, and that's where I got that like camouflage 1,400 acres, which is
What market are you in,
turning
man?
into, huh? What was that?
What market are you targeting as far as doing your campaign?
Most of the counties that I'm targeting are Wharton County, Brazoria County, Colorado, Jackson, Austin, etc. Brazoria, Victoria, everywhere. Doesn't matter.
Shit, man, I have to get you $1.
Yeah, it's like when I was basically skip tracing leads, it's like this guy just wanted to help me out of nowhere, and he just skip traced all of them. I was like, oh shit. What are you saying,
So-
Measure?
I said I'm gonna have to get you $1. Get you a
Okay.
$1 or something, man.
Dude, so there it is right there, man. No excuses at all. $0 spent on marketing, just pure hustle, dialing, skip trace, all the stuff that we've been telling everybody to do for like a year. I want to say that maybe Elizabeth and yourself, man, are the two most fierce people that I've ever seen that just said, you know, as soon as you just give them like 60 seconds worth of programming, like get out of the way, watch this. And dude's just working and working and working. And he has no excuses about how much time he doesn't have or how much money he doesn't have for marketing. The dude is just working and working and working. And I bet you his first deal is like 100 grand plus at least. And it's just from just having that strong work ethic, and it has nothing to do with, you know, no limitations in his mind. He's too brand new to have any limitations in his mind. So I can't wait to get on one of these calls and let everybody know that we got that first big deal. But yeah, man, I just kind of wanted you to come on here and tell us all what you're doing, because it's like we could say it and it sounds good in a Facebook post, but until you actually talk to the person, there's really no way to tell, like, is this real? Are these guys kidding or not? So does anybody have any questions for Chris about what he's doing at all? working multi-million-dollar deals with zero budget. I hope somebody
Yeah,
has
tell-
questions for him.
So
I
what are
get-
you using, Landglide? Is that what
Yeah.
you're doing, did you say?
Yeah, Landglide, I'm mostly using that. And when I was in the process of just skip tracing, like just some of the deals, like one of the agents just started seeing a lot of activity from me, a lot of getting like skip tracing properties, giving back, and it was like two, three like sheets of like 60 plus leads just on there. Basically, I put like how I basically like organize my list is that I put the county first, then the parcel number, person's first and last name, their mailing address, then their city and state, then their zip code, then the actual land, and then hold on. Yeah, and then basically their company name or their address, I'll put that in there and skip trace it anyway. So
Are
if
you
you're
finding
looking-
out
Huh?
why they want to sell? Like, you
Yeah.
know, once you start talking to them, try to find out their motivation.
Yeah, of course. So let's say I'm always on the phone when I say, "Hi, this is just Chris," and you want to say, and before you say anything else, you want to pause because they'll be thinking about what you just said.
I'm talking.
You want to say, "Is now a bad time?" You want to say it like that. Therefore, they kind of like pause a little bit. It's like, "Huh? Who's this person?" Then they want to respond. Then you want to go into, "Hey, like, I was just calling to see if you wouldn't be open to look at any possible hidden gaps in the land that you own and how you could be overpaying back taxes." And sometimes they will like kind of correct you, but you'll get that one person that will correct you and still go into wanting to see if they're considering about selling. It just depends on the person, really.
I like that, man. That's cool.
Because when you're using like Socratic selling, you don't want to be pushing the person. They're just like you. They're no different. They just think differently and they live differently. That's it. Most people think that we're not in equality. Like I spoke to that person who was in 100 acres in El Campo. I actually met her a few days ago, actually last week, and her brother was talking about some crap about, we're not equal. It's like, if we're not equal, then how are we supposed to live together? It doesn't make sense. So when you're speaking to these people, you really want to see what they're trying to say. And if they don't answer, send them a text. Say that, hey, you want to say, "Hi, this is just," you want to say, "Hi, this is just your name, your first name." You don't want to see your last name. Then you put a comma. Then you put, "Is now a bad time?" ? Then you leave it alone. Come back to it later. A week later, call them back if you want. But I wouldn't recommend bombarding them. So that's what I do. And then when they do call back, you still want to search for their number. You don't want to call back right away, because if there's so much in the spreadsheet, you still want to locate their number and see where it's at.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most powerful sales question that I've never thought of and I have never used. Is now a bad time?
Yeah.
That's going to engage anybody. It's harmless. It invites them into a conversation, and it's super, super powerful, man. So did you learn that from a book or something?
Yeah, it's a book called Never Split the Difference. And then if you really want to learn some sales techniques, like, this is really good. It's called NEPQ, Neural Emotional Persuasion Questions, by Jeremy Miner. It's really good. It's like you're selling to a different person in a new age. It's like, it's not 1950 anymore. No one needs to be pressured to say yes. They need to be sold in the best way.
What was that book called again?
It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And if you want to get like another book as well, which is really good, by Kevin Daly, which is a DALEY, it's called Socratic Selling. And if you want to learn like advanced selling, it's called NEPQ. You can search it on YouTube. It's by Jeremy Miner.
How do you keep track of, I mean, if you're sending text manually and you have a big list, how do you, if you're not using I guess you're not using CRM type software to keep track, or how do you keep track of, of all the text? Are you just doing this on your personal phone?
Do it on a personal phone. And then let's say when I do go back to it, I'm always writing notes. When I skip trace the numbers, right? I'm always putting in the notes of my spreadsheet because I still need to know how
So
to.
your CRM is a maybe an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's it for now. But I'm still looking to learn more of how to use the Hiveline CRM because I'm still new to it. So I'm still using this for now. So let's say when I write by the number, I'm always putting like called and sent text at this day. Let's say it's 12/27/21. I put that there, call and send text, or I called and left voicemail. And then let's say when the person does call back, I don't answer right away. Don't be needed to answer a person right away because you may not know where it's at automatically. But if you have the Hiveline CRM, then you'll know exactly who's calling.
So
And
when
what-
you address when you make the first text and you send out, do you mention the seller's name? When you say
No.
it's now a bad time, you just say
No, you
uh,
just
hi,
say
this
who you are. That's it.
is now good. Okay. And you mentioned you're using Landglide. So are you like just I don't have a subscription to Landglide, so I'm trying to get a feel for how you locate the seller. So you just like look at parcels and just identify vacant ones and then skip list. Skip trace it. How do you find that list?
So the list that I'm mostly identifying is mostly let's see for example, you're looking for on Landglide, right? And you want to see how you want to, let's say if you don't have access to Hiveline, then use your Google Sheets. Okay. So you always want to locate it as a parcel ID first. That's where you locate it.
So you're visually looking at Landglide and identify a vacant parcel, and then you see it's a vacant parcel, and that's all you're looking for. It's a vacant parcel, and you just pull the info for that vacant parcel, put in your spreadsheet, skip trace it, and then contact the seller.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're doing this all through your phone, like you're going back and forth?
So what can you not download the list from Landglide, like in a spreadsheet format, and then skip trace it there?
No, you can't.
You cannot. Okay.
I mean, if you tried, then if anyone knows the way, then you're more than welcome to share.
So what you're doing, I mean, what I'm hearing you doing, and of what little I know out there, I mean, there's a lot of tools out there and a lot of stuff that's available maybe for a small fee that'll save you a bundle of time. I mean, from what you're telling me, I mean, physically looking at the computer screen and identifying, scrolling around here and there and identifying vacant parcels and then kind of writing them down in a spreadsheet and then skip trace that, very manually like that. It seems a little, it's working for you, of course, but I'm just saying, it seems a little time consuming.
Yeah, it is. Because like if you can really understand the information, then you can process it. Because there's certain tools that I use from what Yusuf and I use. It's called Techno Tutor. So this tool is very effective to the point where you can really program yourself for success. It's like kind of like if you've seen the movie Limitless or what is that? Oh, The Matrix. If you ever seen those movies, like these people are like being programmed or are in the system to do different things and at different levels. And people say that, oh, you can program yourself to do things by yourself. Yeah, you can, but it'll take you forever. It take you eons to do anything. So this is how I'm mostly just plowing through the resistances of doing all these calls. Because when a person is trying to curse you out and say all these things, they're just saying out of irrationality. They don't know what they're saying. They don't know why they're saying it. That's why you got to question why they're saying behind what they're saying.
So when you contact the seller, and so you after I guess I have the seller respond after you say, hi, this is just Chris, and he says, who are you, or what do you want, or something like that. So how do you come back?
So here's how I would say it. Yeah, sure, it's not a problem. So before going to who I am and all that kind of boring stuff, I was just calling to see if you wouldn't be open to looking at any possible hidden gaps about the property that you own and how it could be causing you to have potential stress. You want to say it in a very skeptical way to the point where they'll be like, oh, what is this? What's this all about? And then it just depends on the person, but I would just say like if you wouldn't be open to look at any possible hidden gaps in the property that you own on this address,
Hidden gaps, you say?
yeah, any any
So you,
possible hidden, like you want to say any possible hidden gaps, any
so you
possible,
don't mention anything about selling,
no, you don't.
asking if they want to sell.
Right, because that's a trap. You're saying that, oh, like you want the person to say yes. Oh, like because they're very guarded about their property, however many freaking acres they have. If it's 300, 1,400, whatever. Depends on the person, really. But it just depends on how you voice your words and how you like voice them and how they sound. And
So I'm just thinking,
whether it's in like an uptick or downtick.
yeah, so I'm just thinking from a seller's perspective, you know, someone contact me out of the blue and he says, hi, this is Chris. And I says, who is this? And you ask me something about gaps in my property. I'm going to say, what the heck are you talking about? What do you want? Or, you know, something like that. I'm going to probably become not hostile, but a little more annoyed at this point in time because you're texting me out of the blue and you're not identifying yourself. You're asking me, you know, obscure questions about my property. And so, I'm just trying to get a feel for how you get to the point to discuss the property with the seller.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you want me to say?
So, I mean, you know, the seller says, well, you said, you mentioned something about, you know, have you thought about, you mentioned in the text, you know, have you thought about hidden gaps or something like that about the property?
No, I didn't say that about putting it in a text.
Oh, okay. So you have to get the seller onto the phone now.
Yeah.
So how do you do?
That's objective, but you never want to say you never want to say any possible hidden gaps in the text. You want to get them on the phone. You want to lead. Hold on.
Right.
You want to lead them in. You're saying, hi, this is just your name, then comma, is now a bad time, question mark.
Right. So they say, who are you? How do you get them to switch from the text to the phone?
You do the same in text because you don't want to rush them on the phone.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yes, but I'm still at the point where the seller, me as the seller, says, you know, who are you? What do you want? So what's your response to that?
So yeah, I would say yeah, sure, it's not a problem. Before going to who we are and what we do and all that kind of boring stuff, I was just calling to see if you wouldn't be open to look at any possible hidden gaps in the property that you own. And
no, but what you're saying now is you're already on the phone. I'm saying
I say the same thing in text.
But you just mentioned that you're not going to say that in the text, right?
No, it depends on the person.
I see.
It's not set in stone.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was just I mean, I was just trying to get a feel for how you walk through the whole texting to the call and then getting to the land discussion and all of that. Yeah.
It's okay to get the detail, but you're not to understand what I'm saying. A little bit step by step. I know you want to constantly interrupt, but that's okay to get more context. I appreciate that. I really see what I'm trying to say, so I can help you understand. So you can do the same in or in your own way or best way, so you can get that deal. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it.
All right. Anybody have any other questions they want to say? Kenny, Corey, Martinez. Hey, I see Cecil just joined the party. What's going on, Cecil?
I gotta take this call real quick, but I'll still be on.
What's up, Niger? How you doing? How's everybody doing?
Doing good, man. What you got going on?
I'm actually trying to figure out a business name for my Google page so I can get set up on that. That's what I've been working on for last hour or so. But
Absolutely. I love that Google My Business. I mean, that's a great thing to get set up. You know, that simple thing where they send the 4-digit thing to your house and you can get it there and start getting reviews. I think that could be a great tool. So I think that's a great idea for something to get set up.
I think it'll help. I think I'm just making too big of a deal out of it just for the last hour, I've just been searching the Google name versus the domain versus if the LLC is available too, trying to get that 3-piece, if that makes sense. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I hear you, and I understand. Like I kind of did that at one point too, and I think personally the LLC is not something you need to worry about being in line with everything else. You can, but I don't think that's something that has to be done. But I think obviously domain, you know, you want something catchy. I have a buying side and a selling side, which I think is good to do, is separate the two. People have different opinions about that, but my buying side, when I go to sellers, is NVK Land Investors, so it's nothing special, but definitely you got to Google my business. It's kind of I don't know. I feel like some of those catchy names, if you get too cute with them, you know, they might look unprofessional. So, you know, it's kind of a balance between like something that's catchy, that's good, that's strong, that's also professional at the same time. It's not like, you know, like Happy Face Land Buying, you know, Crew or something like that. And then on the selling side, I think I like the selling side to be like a little bit more, you know, on the catchy side. I have qualityvacantland.com. So those are two I've done, and I did Google my business on both of those, try to get people to give you reviews, because just when you're talking to people, they're going to Google you if you're saying, oh, I never actually give away like what my business is when I'm talking to sellers until we get to a certain point. But when I do send letters out and I'm like, oh, NVK Land Investors, and they could Google me, they can see that I have 15 5-star reviews, and you know, just I think it helps a lot just with credibility in general.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. So, yeah, I'm hoping to have it figured out by tomorrow and just keep on moving. You know what I mean? Don't want to spend too much time on it.
So, Susan, I have a question. How are you building your land page? Are you building through the HiveMind, or what's your?
So, like Novak, I'm going to be doing 2 pages, one with the HiveMind and one with a separate party. So, yeah, that's how I'm doing. It's still in the beginning phases. I haven't really started them. I'm just trying to get the domain and Google My Business and stuff up first before I get the site.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? They want to ask, feel free. Anybody been driving for dollars lately?
I feel like everybody should have a driving for dollars because if you're in your vehicle and you're going anywhere at all, and you're not at least just looking around you, you're driving by, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars every single day. We're moving into a new area, not a brand new neighborhood, but a new house for us. And I didn't even realize there was a vacant house on my street. My wife saw it today. She's like, "Hey, look, that house is empty." Like, oops, right? So I think everybody should have a driving for dollars app on your phone. And I say, instead of making a list and then promising yourself what you're going to do with it later on at a future date, my philosophy is just pull over and call it right there on the spot. You know, and driving for dollars leads, for the most part, they're not on any list anywhere. So nobody's calling those people. So if you see an abandoned property or vacant property, it's worth at least taking 5 minutes out of your day, 10 minutes out of your day to just give them a ring and see what's up with it. You're not being intrusive. You know, it's an abandoned property. There's a major problem here. So if you just pull over for 10 minutes, give them a ring and see what's up.
Man, I've been taking different routes to daycare just to do this because it's crazy. You know, like every which way I go, I come across 2 properties, and I don't have a driving for dollars app, and I should, but it's always like I'm driving, I like snap a picture, or, you know, like doing on Google Maps where I'm at, so I can remember to look at it when I get home. But it's funny, like, you know, just driving around looking for that tall grass. You know, I don't even do houses, but if I see one, I'm taking mental note of it. I'm not gonna let an opportunity pass. So start collaborating with people locally in your area that are investors that buy those houses. If that's not something you do, and just build that network. You see those, take mental note of them, get these people on the phone, and there's always an opportunity. So just keep your eyes peeled. And like I said, man, I'm taking a new route to daycare every day and finding a new property.
So is anybody using Landglide by chance?
That's all I use. That's the only Driving for Dollars app I use. And I just call it that because it shows you who the property owner is right away. It shows you their mailing address within 3 seconds. So then you just take that mailing address, go to True People Search, or similar, type in that mailing address, and then usually the number's right there. You give them a call, the number's just connected, call the next number. Yep. And then as soon as they don't answer, like if I know it's a good number, I'll immediately text that number. And I'll say, hey, I'll even send them a picture of the house and the address. I'll screenshot the Landglide and send it to them. Like, hey, do you know who owns this house? That's my aunt's house, but she'll never sell it. Like, if you can give me her number, I would appreciate it. Oh, I don't have her number handy right now. I'm like, hey, if I end up buying this house, I'll give you $1,000. Here's her Facebook, but don't tell her I send it to you. $1,000 jog somebody's memory, So if you're not at least looking around while you're driving around, golly, it's wasted money. Yeah, take a crack at it. We drive by them almost every day.
How do you like the new update in Landglide, man? It used to be faster where you can just drop a pin, but now it's like you drop a pin, it tells you to tag it, write some notes, and then press save. Like, I feel like it's slowing down now.
I don't know, man. It would be good to put some notes on it. Say, hey, whatever the name of it is, if somebody sent you the lead, tag it with something, right? Because I promise you, by the time you have 900 properties you looked at, you're not going to remember nothing about them, right? And then I think we lose more deals from data and information that we already have that we don't properly utilize than not having enough data or enough information to get deals. I think we flush a lot of the data we have mentally just by forgetting about it. So I think tag everything. If you're driving to HEB or you're driving to Walmart, that's what your tag says. Your tag says driving to Walmart over by my cousin's house, or whatever it needs for you to jog your memory so that you remember where that property is.
What's your magic number far as stopping for Driving for Dollars? I usually stop at 100 before I hit the house.
Before you hit what?
I usually stop, the Driving for Dollars when I have 100 properties tagged. Pinned down. So I was saying, what's a good number? Do you do like 25, 50?
I don't keep track of it that way, man. I just keep stacking them and stacking them and stacking them. Yeah, and I don't
one.
go out,
I saw one. I'm in it.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, and I'm not driving around for like 8 hours trying to find 25 or 100 properties, but just in your day-to-day living, like just whatever you're doing you don't have to change anything. Like I said, just running to the store, running to a friend's house, just running errands, just keep your eyes peeled. And then the more you keep your eyes peeled, the more you'll start to recognize those properties. You'll start to drive by them and you're not even looking for them. And then they start jumping out at you just because you train your brain to find them.
Yeah. Oof.
We're coming up on that 1 hour mark, guys. So if anybody has anything in closing or any questions or anything you'd want to cover real quick, I'm happy to hang out for a few more minutes after the hour. But if anybody doesn't have anything, we're getting to the end of the call. I know everybody's still in holiday mode because I am.
For sure. I got all my questions answered, man. Just great to see you guys, on this Monday call.
Absolutely, man. Great to connect.
It's crazy that we're missing Coach today, man. What's going on?
I'm telling you, man, everybody's still in holiday mode. We got family over. Like, should we even have the calls right now? Is anybody even going to come? But I'm glad to see that there's still people just as mad as I am. Mad scientist over here, still working, still interested, still loving the game. And I usually take the last 2 weeks of the year off and the first week of the new year. So I usually take about 3 weeks off a year. And for some reason this year, I couldn't switch it off this year. It's just been a heck of a year. It's been fun. Yeah.
Because we're gonna hit 2022 running, man. We're gonna hit that hard. Like January for us. It's just gonna be absolutely nuts. Like everything has just been culminating from the last like month and a half. It's all gonna hit hard in January. So yeah, same thing. We're taking like a week and a half off here to kind of reassess, get everything organized. Go strong, especially with the VA and having the weather issues over there. But yeah, coming into 2022 hot. Here we go.
I feel the momentum, man. It's like it's been building up for so long. It's like, how can you shut this machine down now? There's no way to shut it off. It's growing out of control. So yeah, man, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready to hit it. I'm gonna get with Evan and another guy, and we're gonna start a massive texting campaign, right or wrong. So I don't recommend anybody does anything without first assessing the risk. But yeah, we're just gonna blow it up with text. I know Shariah says he plans, his goal is to send out 1 million texts this year, dude. 2022. So there's gonna be some deals to be had. 1 million texts, one guy. So if anybody wants to come to that call,
how many damn VAs you gonna have?
I don't know what he's doing, but we're gonna kind of follow his lead. So it's gonna be me and Evan. Okay, I'll make sure we get you an invite. If anybody wants to get on there, just send me a message or a text or something. And it's gonna probably be me, Evan, Shariah, and one other guy is actually moving down from Montana to San Antonio, so he can start working hand in hand with Evan. And we're gonna lead the way, man. But we're gonna torch it. We're gonna try to start out January with just a whole ton of contracts. Like you said, we're just gonna go into this year with just a ton of momentum, and then after that, I mean, I think you can kind of ride the wave into the year, and then the rest will be history. So I'll make sure I tag you guys on that one, just to kind of see what direction he's gonna take and how he's gonna set that up.
But when is that get together going to be?
We didn't even name it yet, man. We're just planning on jumping on the phone, maybe like the 3rd or the 4th, to see what he's planning on doing. And we're just going to kind of ride on his coattails. We're not going to work his campaign with him, but we're going to see how he's going to structure it. So yeah, just ping me and I'll put us in a group to see what the heck's about to happen here.
What city is he? Is he in Texas or is he somewhere else?
Yeah, he's in Houston. And I know he's going to work at least Houston, but I'm sure he's probably going to get into other Texas cities with that size of campaign, I would imagine. Let's go! I love the energy. I'm excited. Let's get it, gentlemen. All right, man. Well, ladies, I appreciate everybody for being on here. It was super, super fun. Glad to see everybody when we're all in a switched off mode, still hungry, still learning the game. And same for me. If anybody needs me for anything, man, just call me. I'm still working. I'm in and out of phone calls. So, I'm trying to shut down, but it's just not going to happen this year. So if somebody's ready to work, I am too. But I appreciate everybody being on here. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And look forward to speaking with everybody soon.
All right, Anthony. Thanks.
It's the hive, baby.
The hive, baby.
All right, Anthony, man. Good to see you, man. Hi.
Have a good night, y'all.
I appreciate everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And I hope everybody has a great new year. If I don't see y'all before then.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.